it's like not something I'm interested in. That's not a 5-star book to me anymore. There's enemies to lovers, there's the love triangle, there's like all kinds of friend drama. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention this. Hello and welcome to my channel. Honestly, I don't know what order I'm going to be uploading my videos. I filmed a vlog on New Year's Day, so that video might be going up before this one. Either way, welcome to 2022. This is one of the first videos in 2022 and I'm just so excited for what I have in the store. I have some fun video ideas planned, so yeah, I'm just excited for 2022. But before the 2022 videos fully start, I realized I never made a favorite books of 2021 video. I actually wasn't even intending to make one of them, but I just decided that today was the day and I felt like I should make it. So I have a stack right here. There's a few more of my top 10 books from 2021. This will be a two-part video, so I'm going to show you guys my top 10 books from last year, and I'm also going to go through my Storygraph analytics, I guess. I just got onto Storygraph. I'll link it below and I'll also link my Goodreads below. Thankfully I was able to export my Goodreads information to Storygraph. Otherwise I wouldn't even have the information to make this video. I thought that was such a cool feature. So yeah, that'll be today's video, and I haven't gone through my Storygraph analytics or insights. I don't even remember what it's called. I literally just got the app and made my account. So that'll be fun. We're gonna go through that together. I've honestly just had such a chill day. So we're just gonna hang out in some comfy clothes. I have a candle going here and we're just gonna talk about some books. Now these books are not in any particular order. I just gathered them around and put them in a stack. The first one, I read this I think in like the middle of the year, Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. The third book in the Anne and Green Gables series. I really like this one a lot. Now I honestly don't even remember why I liked it so much. It's just such a cozy and comforting read, I think. Like all the Anne books are just so cozy and comforting. So this one was one of my favorites from Anne that I read this year. I believe I read 3, 4, and 5 this year, and I'm gonna try to finish the last 3 of the series in 2022. The next book, I got this one for my birthday and I've talked about it a bit on this channel. It's The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This is the debut novel. She has a second book coming out in I think March, and I'm so excited to read that. This was such a good YA fantasy book with magic and nature, and I just loved it very, very much. Definitely a good one to read in October. It's a really, really autumnal book, all about the seasons. Yeah, and I just loved it. And I know I've shown you guys this before, but it's just stunning. Next, I read a little bit of classics, not too many. This is 8 Cousins by Louisa May Alcott. This was just so comforting and cozy, and I'm now realizing that I love all of these books because of how comforting and cozy they are. So that's just where I was this year. This one is about our main character, Rose, who is an orphan, and then she's raised by her great aunts, and she has 7 cousins who are all boys, and it's just so fun. If you love Little Woman, it is Little Woman. It's just like a different version of Little Woman in a way. It still has like that really nice family feel. I just loved it so much, and it's really short too, so if you're looking for a short read, I would highly recommend this. And there's also a sequel, which I am trying to find. I believe it's called A Rose in Bloom. I really love this, and I also love this edition. It's the mint edition. So cute. Okay, we have a couple Colleen Hoovers. The first Colleen Hoover book that I read was Verity. This was so dark, very twisted, a wonderful thriller. I read it in like a day. It was so good. I just had to know what was going to happen. So if you are looking to start reading Colleen Hoover books or thrillers in general, I think that this is a really, really good one. Yeah, I would look into it a little bit because there are some trigger warnings, but I really enjoyed this one, and I'm definitely team manuscript. Let me know in the comments if you're team letter or team manuscript, because oh my goodness, the plot twist at the end was fantastic. I think about this book so often. I just loved it so much. I also really like the cover, and this one has like a fun texture to it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, yeah, I don't even know how to describe the texture, but it's very unique. Then the second Colleen Hoover book that I read this year was It Ends With Us. I read it in a day, and I think I read it so fast that I couldn't even process it necessarily. It was so good though. I just like inhaled this. And I'm pretty sure I gave this like maybe a 3 out of 5, but it's in this video because of Atlas. Atlas is just one of my favorite characters. I feel like Atlas made this book one of my favorites of this year. I just love his character so much. Yeah, the story was really, really good as well. Next, I started reading some Emily Henry, and my favorite is Beach Read. I'm so excited for her next book that's coming out this year. Beach Read, it's just so comforting, so good. It's about two authors, and as someone who loves writing and I really want to get into writing, especially this year, I just thought that this book was, I don't know, I just found this book really inspiring from like a writer's perspective, and I just loved it so much. Also, this is random, but I love the name January. I just think that that's such a fun name. I just liked everything about this book. It was an easy read, very comforting, very cozy. I just loved it. Another one of my favorites was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is a nice enemies to lovers. They get stuck on a honeymoon vacation, hence the name The Unhoneymooners. And obviously it's a romance book. On this vacation they fall in love, and it's just so good. I loved everything about this book. It takes place in Hawaii, so the atmosphere is so fun and tropical. Even though they hate each other, they're still going on like fun adventures that you would just do in Hawaii. It's just a really nice feel-good read. This next one was a reread for me. I have the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians right here, which I haven't read the sequel yet, which is why I reread this. Still didn't read the sequel, but I just loved this book so much, and I finally watched the movie as well, and for a movie adaptation based on a book, I thought it was really, really good. Like, the book's just always going to be better, but I do think that the movie adaptation was still so good. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this other than it's just a book that I love, and I've reread this for sure twice, maybe 3 times. I don't do that often. This book I hesitated to put in my top 10 because I didn't like it when I read it. However, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since I finished it. So that was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna put it in the top 10. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, the reason I didn't like it is just because I'm not that into Greek mythology. So like half the time I'm just like, who in the world are these people? What is happening? Because I feel like you get the story so much more if you do have a knowledge of Greek mythology, and I just don't. It's like not something I'm interested in. But the writing style of this book was fantastic. The storytelling was really good, and I felt like I could still appreciate the story even though I don't really know Greek mythology. And just the ending is one of the most tragic things I've ever read. I didn't cry because I just don't really cry even in sad books, but the way that this book ended just left me shattered. Completely shattered, and I still think about it to this day, even though I read this like almost a year ago. It was, yeah, so good. And the last book in my top 10 is Crush by Tracy Wolff. This is the second book in the Crave series. There's actually 2 more books coming out this year, which I'm so excited about. There's currently 3 out at the moment, and so this is the second book in the series, and it was just so good. The first book really set you up for this one. So the first book was just about like, here's the character, here's like their background story. Then the second book, you really got to see the characters interacting. You got to learn so much more about why they are the way that they are. I thought it was just a phenomenal sequel. I don't want to talk about it too much because obviously it's the second book and I don't want to spoil anything. And I've also talked about this quite a bit on this channel. There's enemies to lovers, there's the love triangle, there's like all kinds of friend drama. It takes place in a castle that's a school as well. Very dark academia. There's so much adventure and magic and like monsters, and oh my gosh, I just love this book so much, and I cannot wait to finish off the series. So those are my top 10 books of 2021. Now let's look at my 2021 analytics. Okay, I got my iPad here. We're gonna head into Storygraph. I'm going to screen record this so you guys can see what I am seeing. So I am already in, what's it called? My stats. Yes, we want to look at my reading stats. Okay, so I got up my reading stats. I'm going to switch it to 2021, and here we go. Okay, I love that it shows the moods. I think that that's so cool. Well, first of all, it says that I read 61 books this year. I read 65, but I don't know why it's... Oh well, that's fine. I just transferred the information, so maybe some books just didn't go through. And that's over 21,000 pages. That's pretty good. My top moods were emotional. Fantastic. Then the next would be reflective. Let's see what books were reflective. Christy Miller, Homebody, The Alchemist, Dune. Wouldn't necessarily say that's reflective, but okay. The Nature of Witches, Tattooist of Auschwitz. Yeah, okay, I see. Those ones are so good. Then the next one would be adventurous, lighthearted, mysterious, dark, sad. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right to me. For the pace, medium pace. I read a little bit of fast-paced books, but yeah, I really don't like slow-paced books. Let's see, what did I read that was slow? The Alchemist. I wouldn't say it's necessarily slow, but okay. Eight Cousins, yeah, I mean, it's a classic, so it'll be a little bit slower. Crush, I wouldn't say was slow, but okay. Persuasion, yeah, that's a slow one. Oh my goodness. Call Me By Your Name, that's slow as well. Emma. Okay, so like more classics were the slow books. That makes sense. For the page number, I tend to read longer books, which is good, but also means I can't read as many books. I'm hoping to start to read shorter books, but honestly, I always gravitate towards longer books. 17% of my books were over 500 pages. That's crazy. 10 books. What did I read? Dune is so long. That took me so long to read. Breaking Dawn. I think that was my longest book of the year. Yeah, it's 756 pages. That's a long book. Cool. I read 10 books that were over 500 pages. Wow. Let's see, how many books did I read that were between 300 and 400? 27 books. And for short books, under 300 pages, 23 books. Fiction and nonfiction, yeah, 93% fiction. I hate reading nonfiction, but I'm trying to read more nonfiction, but I just hate it. I just do. For genres, young adult, really, I would have thought it would have been fiction. Romance, yes, I read a lot of romance books this year, and fantasy. Classics, I didn't think classics would be that high. My goal is to read more classics this year, and I'm also thinking to start reading some Russian novels, which are books that have scared me because they're so long. Hopefully, we'll be getting some more classics in this year. For the format, yes, digital, what would that be? That's interesting. I don't understand this. Digital, because I have all of those. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention this audiobook. New Year's Day, I finished listening to Daisy Jones and the Six. I just had like maybe 30 minutes left of it. I'm counting that as a 2021 book, and that was one of my favorites as well. I just don't have a physical copy of it, so it didn't make it in the pile. But Daisy Jones and the Six was such a good audiobook, and that's like the 2% that I listened to, because 92% of the time, I would say even more than that, because I don't know what this digital section is. I just read the books. I really like having a physical book to read instead. Most read author. That's interesting that it's Tracy Wolff, but I do understand that because I did read all 3 of the Crave series books. I would have thought that it would have been maybe Taylor Jenkins Reid or Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover's on the list. She's number 4, and Emily Henry is number 3. Sounds about right. Now we're getting into the section that'll break it down by month. So obviously in April and May, I was not reading as much. January, I read 9 books. I didn't even think I was making videos about books then, but that's pretty good. I feel like at the start of the year, I just feel super motivated to just like get a head to start on my reading goal for the year. So that makes sense because I'm feeling that now. I'm ready to like plow through my TBRs, but that's gonna die out soon. Since like on average I will read about 5 books a month, which I mean that's like a book a week, so that's pretty good. Or like a book and a half a week, something like that. That's not bad at all. And my average rating is a 3.9. I feel like most of the time I'll give a book like a 3 out of 5. That just means like I enjoyed it, I'm satisfied, I'm happy I read it, we're gonna move on. Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of the books that I read this year. It was just like we did it. I think I might have to go through and change some of these ratings because now I'm kind of going through it and like that's not a 5-star book to me anymore. Those were my top 10 books of the year and my 2021 book analytics. If you guys enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below what was your top few books from 2021. I'd love to know. I mean, not that I need to add any more books to my 2022 TBR, but I like to know what you guys are reading and what is on your list. So yeah, comment that down below and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye, everyone.